Welcome back to the Poisoner's Almanac podcast. I'm your co-host, Adam.
I'm Rebecca. If I look tired, I'm okay. This week just really kicked my behind, and it's going to be fine.
Yep.
Just one of those weeks.
Yes.
Nothing in particular.
It was just a millennial pause.
It was one of those
Nothing
weeks.
wrong.
Just trying to catch up and trying to stay caught up with just all these things kept happening. It was like, okay, my computer basically ate my files, and then I had to like figure that out.
Y'all.
And I never got that one file back, but
yeah,
at least I had put everything on a flash drive or something like that, like a couple weeks back, because I just had this feeling, it was just like my poor little computer, my little guy.
Thank God.
But yeah, where'd all the files go? That was basically me. For a minute.
I brought that quote into the conversation. One does.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, Becca's MacBook
just disappeared for a while, and then the folders came back, and there was nothing in the folders, and I was like, seriously?
And then she was like, "Where'd all the files go?"
But
yeah, that was rough. You started like panicking in our group text that we have with our friends.
I don't do technology as much as they do, so
you don't. For some reason,
they were giving me good tips, but
for some reason, you have an aversion to technology.
Well,
you have technological PTSD, is what it is.
I didn't grow up with, I know like our generation supposedly grew up with technology, but I grew up in a poorer area. Our schools, we had one computer lab, and we may have gone in there like one time a year. We just didn't have that opportunity. Yeah. And these days kids are on like tablets at school. They have all kinds of technology now. And so like, yeah, I grew up around the time technology was booming, but it was like, we didn't exactly have a whole lot of it around us, right? And so when I finally did get into having a computer of my own, I wanted my own laptop because of it. There was a show that I used to love. It was on Disney Channel. It was called So Weird. So Weird? It's called So Weird? Yeah, and it's got this girl, and she had this cool laptop, and she had like her own website, and she was like doing these blogs about like the weird things she encountered. It was all like supernatural, paranormal stuff, but
that's literally what you're doing now.
Well, I mean, I don't really do that much about paranormal stuff, but like she would encounter all this stuff while her mom was like this singer, and they would be like on a tour bus going everywhere. And I was like, I want to live that life. Right. I loved that show. She had like this old janky, laptop, because back then they were pretty janked up. So I was like, I want one of these. So my first laptop was a Sony Vaio. No idea what I was doing with it.
Is Sony still in the laptop game? I don't think they're making.
I don't know.
Wow. But
yeah, I remember that computer.
Yeah. Now you make me want to go down a rabbit hole and see which laptop she was using in that show.
It's, oh my God. I watched the show recently, actually, because I found it, and I was like, I used to love this show.
We have some very interesting poison in the news. Let's jump right into it. You guys are aware about the 21 hospitalizations recently in Florida for people drinking raw milk sold by a dairy in Florida, which is illegal. But if you sell it as animal food,
which I don't know why you do that to your animal.
Such a bad idea. But if you sell it as animal food, you can get away with selling it to people legally.
What animals are drinking milk, though?
I don't know.
Like grown animals.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
But even cats aren't supposed to have like milk when they're older, are they? I know that's like a myth, like you give cats milk.
I don't know. The headline, it's reported all over the place, but NBC's headline says, woman saying raw milk sickened her toddler and led to the loss of unborn baby sues Florida dairy farm.
She probably got like Listeria, Campylobacter, something like that.
She was septic. The Florida Department of Health said this month that Keeley Farms Dairy, a farm in New Smyrna Beach, was tied to 21 infections from raw milk consumption.
Well, did they know they were selling to humans for human consumption?
I bet there's detail in here.
Because I'm like, if she knowingly drank it, though.
Yeah,
knowing it's illegal to do that, to buy it for that purpose.
Okay, well, there is the conundrum.
I'm just wondering how that case is going to go.
Of course.
It sucks that happened to her. I'm sorry that happened.
Rachel Maddox claims she didn't know about the risk involved with raw milk.
But I'm thinking like you had to wonder why it was illegal for human consumption to buy it for human consumption.
Who knows if she even knew? We've been pasteurizing milk.
A friend could have given it to her and was like, this will be great for you. So, she could have honestly just didn't know.
She didn't know about the risk involved with raw milk. and that her child became seriously sick after having consumed the product, according to a lawsuit filed on August 13th. Now she's suing Keeley Farms Dairy, a farm in New Smyrna Beach, which the state health department said this month was linked to at least 21 cases of Campylobacter and Shiga toxin producing
Oh,
E.
God.
coli infections since
Oh.
January. And of course, you know what Shiga is, don't you? Don't you? I knew it.
I told y'all, poop milk. Quit. Quit it.
Yeah. Those cases included 6 children under age 10 and 7 hospitalizations. State health officials warned at the time about the potential risk of drinking raw milk, which is rich coming from Florida. Milk that is not pasteurized, meaning it has not gone through a heat treating process that destroys bacteria. At the time, the state health department said it was working with the farm to ensure effective sanitation practices are implemented consistently across every batch.
You're not supposed to be
What?
drinking raw milk, though. We have
I don't understand
a
how the
whole
health
method
department.
called pasteurization.
I don't know what that sentence even means. The state health department said it was working with the farm.
But it's like, isn't it
It's
illegal
raw.
to sell for human consumption? They've said that, right?
I am made of questions. In the suit, Maddox claims she purchased Keeley Farms Dairy raw milk at Wild Hare Natural Market in June. I love that name.
Wild hare.
It's Hare, like a wild rabbit, but wild hare is so fitting. Purchased Keeley Farms Dairy raw milk at Wild Hare Natural Market in June when she was nearly 20 weeks pregnant. She purchased the milk for her husband, who grew up in Eastern Europe and had expressed an appreciation for farm fresh milk. Now that's a lie. Pasteurization started in Europe, did it not?
Little Louis Pasteur. But I mean, like, I get where he's coming from, but they had their own. It's like farm fresh milk would be like your own farm. You know where it's coming from, and typically you can pasteurize it yourself.
Unaware of any potential danger, she purchased it, the complaint said. The milk did have a label in accordance with Florida law that said it was for animal, not human consumption.
Okay, good luck winning that case,
This
then.
is so stupid. This is so stupid. The health department doesn't contradict this article, as far as I can tell. And in the article, they published that the department had been working with this farm to make sure their milk was safe. But it's got a label.
Maybe they meant safe for animals.
Brother. She inquired about the label, but was told it was a technical requirement to sell farm milk. And she did not question it further, the complaint said.
Well, because they've been selling it probably to other people.
The complaint does not specify whom Maddox asked about the label. Maddox and her husband began to provide the milk to their toddler,
Oh, no.
identified by the initials LU. But after having consumed the raw milk on June 8th, he began to experience diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, fever, abdominal pain, chills, and dehydration.
He's also, he's a toddler. His immune system's not going to be as, potent.
The child was hospitalized for severe gastroenteritis from June 9th to 12th. What's the total expense of a 4-day pediatric infection hospitalization, babe?
Well, then the mom gets septic.
$250,000?
She's going to be in there for a while, especially with being pregnant, and then that sucks.
The toddler was discharged on June 12th, but returned to the hospital on the 14th because of bloody stool. He underwent surgery for intussusception.
Oh.
A type of bowel blockage.
Oh. Ow.
And he was treated for possible hemolytic uremic syndrome.
That is so painful. Intussusception? Isn't that literally where the telescoping?
I don't know. I actually don't know that term.
Oh.
It sounds awful. The way you're reacting, I know it's bad.
Ouch. That poor baby.
Yeah. He was discharged on the 16th. He returned the following day because of bloody stool and severe abdominal pain and remained there for 2 days. He's been in the hospital for 2 weeks, pretty much.
He's never going to want to drink milk again, ever, which, I mean.
His medical treatment continues to this day, the lawsuit states. Maddox said she did not drink the raw milk herself, but that by June 13th, she also sought medical treatment for diarrhea, vomiting, fever, abdominal pain, and chills.
She didn't drink it?
I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Testing found she tested positive for E. coli and Campylobacter. She did drink it.
Either she drank it or she changed the baby and then didn't wash her hands.
Can it be airborne from stool, from the child's stool?
You could touch it, though, and not wash your hands well.
Maddox was hospitalized for 2 days because she was pregnant and dehydrated. On June 18th, Maddox's fetus died. She was readmitted to the hospital where she was diagnosed with sepsis. The complaint said an autopsy placed the
Mm.
age of her fetus between 19 and 20 weeks.
Yeah, intussusception is when one part of the intestine telescopes into another. That's
Good
where the
Lord.
blockage. Yeah, it's painful.
Oh my
It can
God.
cause tissue damage or death because you're not getting the blood supply is being cut off to that area.
Mercy.
It's not fun. It's awful.
She was discharged, but later readmitted to another hospital where her condition deteriorated.
Lord.
On June 30th, the complaint says she had a lumbar puncture and was screened for the onset of Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare condition that causes nerve damage that is most commonly caused by Campylobacter infection. Okay, so just so you folks know, the
Oh, yeah.
listeners and the viewers, raw milk can lead to GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Well, because of the Campylobacter.
Yes. Her medical treatment also continues to this day. The suit alleges Keeley Farms and Wild Hair Natural Market of strict liability, negligence, and breach of implied warranties.
I don't know how they're going to win that case, though.
I don't either. And see,
Unless
this
they
is the
settle.
thing.
Sometimes people just settle because it's cheaper
They
than.
might. If there's a chance that they could lose, of course they will settle.
I mean, I hope for her sake she gets something because that's awful. I hope that because it really sucks that she lost her child and her baby, and that her child got that sick because that sounds awful.
Yeah.
But I just.
It accuses the farm of failing to properly test its products, failing to adequately monitor sanitary conditions, and failing to warn the public about contamination. Listen, they're selling raw milk under the guise of animal feed.
I'm not a farmer, but I don't think you should be giving it animal.
It's so dangerous for the general public to confuse it. What if they don't see the label?
Like, I wonder what. You're not losing anything when it comes to pasteurization. I don't know why people think, well, something gets lost in the pasteurization, but no, it doesn't.
No.
Honestly, and milk's not that healthy for you, to be honest.
Actually not.
I mean, like, as you drink milk as a baby, obviously for the nutrition and stuff, and we give like cow's milk, pasteurized cow's milk to babies to kind of help get their calorie intake, their calcium and all that.
Yeah.
But like, it's just, and I mean, it's fortified with vitamin D.
Because children need that.
But it's like, you don't gain anything from it being unpasteurized. You just don't.
The farm said it's been attacked since the Florida Department of Health's news release on raw milk illnesses, while noting the farm was never investigated. The Florida Department of Health has not shut down Keeley Farms Dairy, and the Department of Agriculture had recently visited the farm and inspected and reapproved the farm's labels. We continue to sell raw milk as livestock feed. It is legally licensed and labeled, not for human consumption under state law, and is not sold for human consumption.
I wonder why.
The farm said in a statement in an online fundraiser that it is being tried in the court of public opinion, and sales have been impacted. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I mean,
this has been devastating for the farm, the statement said. It has affected farm sales and left us heartbroken and struggling to pay the bills. Stop killing people. We want to continue providing a service to our community.
Stop murdering people.
Do you know who provides a service to the community? Government regulation of food production. Tell you what, if the law is you just can't sell unpasteurized milk, her baby's still alive.
Also, like,
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
If Florida says it's illegal,
it's bad.
Like, it's Florida, okay? And
y'all, Florida's in the east. It's also the Wild West.
I've taken some personal issue with the way that they've handled a lot of health things in the past. So, like, if they're like, yeah, don't do that, you probably shouldn't do that.
If Florida's like, that sounds kind of risky.
Yeah.
Let's go to some comments from Spotify on the wellness industry episode that went up on the 17th. Jesse Bone says, I lost my mom and brother to double negative breast cancer.
Ugh.
Men can get breast cancer.
Yeah, they very much can.
Yes. Veronica says, I mean, my own private island would definitely reduce my stress. LOL.
Same. We should just all get together, get a private island.
Crowdfund it. It would cost our it would only cost our patrons like, $100,000 a piece. We could do it.
In this economy?
Come on, guys. Believe with us.
Lord help us.
Ari Alma says Nefarious is Maleficent's cousin.
Is that real?
I don't know. Is this lore? Is this Disney?
I don't know.
About?
I said it like last time that she was like her related to her. I don't remember exactly how I said it now, but now I'm like, wait, is that true? I'm looking it up.
Yes. We must investigate the law. We must know what the law says.
There's a
Sweeney
doctor.
Todd.
There's a Dr. Nefarious who's in Ratchet and Clank. So there is that. Who was the doctor in what's the game? The Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I used to love that game because even when you die, like Crash, it's just like, wow. And he just becomes like this little ghost guy. I used to love some Crash Bandicoot now. Good times.
Good times. Did you find it?
I didn't find Nefarious, but
all right, we got another comment
it's a
on
great idea.
The podcast YouTube. We posted a short about exploitation of sick people. And Little Wiggle Monster 7691 says, I knew an older lady that would send hundreds of dollars to a Christian group she followed. I would help her with cleaning and such. One day I was over and heard their conversations, and I was almost physically sick. She was short on money and had told them that. And they told her they cannot perform prayers and cannot guarantee God's healing without it.
Oh.
God does not help beggars, etc. I was just about to track their location to slap them myself.
Wait a minute. Isn't that like, was the whole point, like Jesus was here? Like in the Bible, it talks about how he goes from place to place and hangs out with like sinners and poor people and.
Yep.
Okay.
It was disgusting.
I read the book.
I did finally, after weeks of begging her to stop this, and I connected her with a local church that's not twisted. She was sending these people $200 to $300 a week on Sundays for I don't even know how long. And folks, if you're an older person on a fixed income, that is a truckload of money.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. They completely took advantage of this lonely elderly lady. Foul snakes. Taking advantage of mentally ill or physically ill should have their, and I'll redact that last phrase for the sake of
whatever it is. I agree.
Yeah. But they said they should face, they're basically saying they should face severe consequences.
It's not,
which I agree with.
And it's not, it is a lot. There are a lot of churches that do that. We've seen that.
A lot of ministries.
We've seen that personally, but like
televangelists do it.
Yeah, I think I think we mentioned Miss Cleo last time.
Oh my God.
Call me now. I showed Camilla that. Like she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "It used to be on this one channel, and like she would be doing like the tarot cards, and then like later on, you find out that her accent's not even real." I felt so betrayed.
Oh,
because like I'd see her come up on the thing, and like obviously I never called her. I was a kid, but I would literally like the vocal stem with "Call me now,"
Yes.
But like her accent's not even real. I feel so betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they also showed Jerry Springer on that channel. So
it's true.
Anybody remember Jerry Springer?
There was a vibe,
What a weird.
All right, let's jump in housekeeping for the old podcast.
What a weird time.
Be sure to follow us on whatever platform you're listening or watching on. Thank you in advance for leaving 5-star reviews. We're seeing those pile up on Spotify for sure. Be sure to, like and subscribe, share on YouTube. Follow us on socials. We got links in the show notes. We have our socials and then dedicated podcast socials, as we just read that comment from. The Patreon is up and running. There's a link in the show notes to support the podcast through Patreon. Let us know what kind of content you'd like to see on the Patreon for a single United States dollar per month. You get access to perks, which include weekly bonus episodes, which Becca does solo. They're incredible. You have the option to leave us a voicemail that we play and react to here on the podcast. And we also shout you out by name. Those people are as follows: 87 Pensgirl 71, Mara Santiago, Grace Lahan, Genevieve, Nehev Shatreat, Jay Went, Incan Hafner, Kiri Yorsek, Tay of Sunshine, Monique, Shane R., Sue Steves, James Mills, Megan Kyler, Liz B., Willie Wolf NZ, Mama G, Nicole Rivers, Richard Miyako, Heather Nolan, Kaylee, Sasha Rubel, Maya Shostak, Maggie's Yarm, Ogre the Viking, Lynn Rocket, Brett Moser, Zaid, Neil Houdini, Nicole Crane, Jefferson Vargas, Carmen Q, Sarah G, Knittin Ninja, Estar, Olive Octopus, Betsy Rich, T-Bug, Christine Moljadi, Morgan Brittingham, Blau Frosh, a.k.a. Clara Jurisons, Vix, Anne Maria, Carl Ziegler Jr., Clyde, Jennifer Wilson Richter, Too Fidgety, Wendy G, Elena MK, Caitlin Martin, Pungrammed, Minnesota SPT, Tasha, Stewart Slattery, Simone Valdez, Christian Skredergaard, Bonnie, Oma D, Rynel Alara, Kristen Arnold, Aaron Carey, Lynn Simpson, Melissa Desiree Davis, Jennifer Ramirez Johnson, Dalek Party, The Warped Witch, Dizzy Dancer, Creative Otter, Yadmit, Supergirl Sway, Rachel, Anya Brandt, Ebby, Leah Marie Matson, Lady Digitalis, Jesse, Shay 10, Julia Franzoni, Sparks, Gloria Eichmann, Thomas Huff, From Strange to Things, Soy Kasumi, Jessica Gasparini, Robert Jr., Caitlin and Donna Lanchanes, Lauren Smith, Anna G, Serpentine Fire, Melanie the SLP, Stuart Lee, Solstice, Chris Millanak, Mackenzie Kennedy, Libby Hetty, Hantapalooza, Lisa MN, aka Schmut, J Moon, Kelsey H, Paper Sky, Hannah Cook, and please welcome our newest Patreon supporter, Nikki Larkin. And that'll do it for the old housekeeping, my dear. We've been on a roll exposing a bunch of scams. I'm so excited. We are talking about MLMs and quote unquote wellness today.
Yes.
What do you got?
I feel like, saying exposed, I feel like a lot of people kind of already know.
Can I interest you in some LuLaRoe leggings?
I swear to God. I don't miss getting those
They feel like butter.
invites. I mean, people I've never, people would never even say hi to me in passing. Hey, hun.
Hey, girl.
What's up?
Do you want to be a boss, babe?
No, I want to be a solitude babe over here. Just if I can,
I
you
wanna
know.
be a solitude babe. But the need for food, clothing, and shelter keeps getting in the way.
Oh no. Yeah, it's we talked about some stuff, and yeah, we're talking about, and every time I would have look up MLMs, all I hear in my head is MLMs.
I love MLMs.
Camilla usually says, and her she's got a couple of friends that are like, why are you saying like that? But you know how you write PLS for please? She'll say pulls. Can you get me this pulls? Pulls.
She's saying it to be funny.
Yeah, she's just
yeah,
that's the way I say it.
Wall speak.
Yeah.
Gosh, that term is related to the Facebook wall.
I still have to look up what certain things mean. I'm just like, what is TLDR? Too long. I forgot the rest. Anyway, but yeah, MLMs, pyramid schemes. In our last bonus episode, I did go over Ponzi schemes and why they're called that. Wasn't much to do, I guess, with poison, but these are very toxic people. We did discuss one case where poison was involved, a more recent sort of pyramid scheme type case where a woman totally poisoned her husband because he didn't know what was going on. But yeah, so, essentially they're called Ponzi schemes after Charles Ponzi. We could discuss how they work or really don't work in the long run. And it took me a while to understand. I don't know if it was the tism or what, but it took me a minute to understand how you would start something like this, or the confidence, the boldness you have to be straight up lie to people. If you give me this, I can turn it into this. And then you're just taking money from newer investors to give the money you promised to that. That's terrifying. That's not sustainable.
Sweetie, that's
eventually you're going to get busted.
Sweetie,
right?
That's because you have a conscience.
Well, yeah, that. And it's you don't look ahead and think, this can't last. I'm going to be in deep trouble when this is at the end.
They're not worried about it. They do not experience fear or empathy.
Or apparently foresight. They don't look ahead. They don't plan these. I don't know.
They'll come up with some other scam.
And they make so much money if they do it well, for a little bit. But all that's going to come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of has to. Anyway.
It does have to. And then one of them becomes president.
Here we are. So, yeah, pyramid schemes, these are a type of Ponzi scheme. They are illegal. Now, the difference between these and MLMs, as they're defined at least, and I've mentioned this before, but I feel like I kind of have to, if we're talking about, I kind of use them interchangeably a lot because I feel like MLMs are constantly kind of on that thin line, where it becomes a pyramid scheme. But yeah, it's basically how they get paid. So with MLMs, those involved are supposed to make money primarily through commissions on sales. Now, some can do this effectively, but honestly, most who join MLMs really don't make much money. No. Ever. They really don't.
Be at the top of the pyramid.
One saying that I found in one of the MLMs we're going to talk about is, I started with zero money, but now I have not zero money each month. And I'm like,
okay,
what kind of saying is that? I think it has to do, it's one of the essential oils ones that we're going to talk about.
Started with not zero money.
And it's well, you made $2 this month. That's something.
Could literally be $2.
What? Now, you really don't succeed in these businesses unless you're at the top and sort of, taking money from other people. You're anyway.
You must engage in what we know as theft.
Or that, and it's like skimming off the top of people that you've brought in
Mm-hmm.
yourself,
Yeah.
which is just messed up. Not a friendly thing to do. So pyramid schemes are like Ponzi schemes because within these, people get money from others joining or investing,
Yes.
which in a lot of MLMs, that's what is happening. But somehow legally they stay
Yes.
not a pyramid scheme. And I'm not sure how that happens,
That's
but
right. Well, they've legally worked it out.
they have their own lawyers.
Oh, yeah.
They basically involve the recruitment of others in order to make a cut of their joining fee. So you may be selling a product, but you're making most of the money from recruiting and then skimming off the top of those under you. So like you have all these different sellers that you've recruited under you, you're getting kind of a cut of their sales because you're the one that recruited them. And like I've seen a lot of MLMs that operate that way. So I'm like, how are these not pyramid schemes? Because like I think with like LuLaRoe, for instance, and I know so much about LuLaRoe because we knew so many girls that were involved with it. And it is mostly females. It is mostly women because they get kind of these, they kind of prey on women, especially in like religious organizations, because a lot of them,
because some of the same lies are involved.
Well, yeah, well, because that, and like a lot of them are stay-at-home moms.
Yeah, that's right.
And for a lot of stay-at-home moms, you want to contribute something to the household. You know, you want to do something besides momming because look, being a mom is great, but oh my God, you want your own life. You want your own value.
Ooh, girl.
And yeah, so they lure them in this way and they're like, you could be your own boss and do this from home and make all this money. And there's just a lot of it's just lies.
You know, I heard it's a girl named Britt Hartley who runs, what's it called? The No Nonsense Spirituality. It's a TikTok account. And she also has a YouTube channel. She talked about the need for meaning and identity.
Yeah.
And like these core needs that people have. And like when you become a mother, like it shifts your identity completely to that. It really does. And like there's so little preparation or conversation about that aspect of becoming a mom. Like you feel shame for feeling like you're drowning or like you've completely disappeared because you had a child.
Yeah, it has its own, I think, grieving points.
Yes.
And that's okay to be grieving that.
100%. It's
people think like, oh, I'm a terrible parent because I'm sad that I'm a parent all of a sudden. And it's like, no, you're going to have days where you're like, you don't want to do this anymore, but you love your kid more than anything.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
so.
It's not an expression of your love for your child. It's an expression of the core need for identity, meaning, community.
And if you have, you know, if you're neurodivergent and you struggle with sensory overload, oh,
baby.
It's been a week, honestly, for me with that too.
Well, I'm thankful that we know that you're autistic and ADHD. When you had our daughter, we didn't know.
I went through a couple of years of deep, just, I didn't want to leave the house. I hated everything.
Yeah.
Except for her. I loved her to death. But
that's the weird thing about it. It's two things being true at the same time.
And then people constantly wondering why I'm not here. I'm not going here. I'm not doing that. And I'm like, I'm exhausted. Yeah. I can't take any more noise. I just can't. Yeah. And there were times where I went outside and I would scream, literally scream. And I was like, I'm going to get the cops called on me.
I never knew that.
These neighbors are going to.
Hang on.
Because I didn't want to scare my kid. She was like in the living room and I just couldn't take it anymore. I go outside and I would just scream.
In the backyard.
Yeah. My poor neighbors are probably like,
folks, this is breaking news. I never knew that you did that.
Well, because, okay, my mom was a cabinet slammer and it used to like scare the fool out of me because, you know, sometimes you get that ADHD rage that just builds up and you've also got overstimulation.
Hang on. When people ask me how my wife is doing, I can say she ain't screaming in the yard anymore.
It was a thing. Look. But I didn't want to be a cabinet slammer because my mom did that and it scared the fool out of me. And I don't blame her for that.
You just did something way more normal and screamed in the yard. Sweetheart, I love you so much. And I'm so sorry that folks, I grew up in a fundamentalist Christian cult. Like I was not prepared to help my wife. I'm so sorry.
And yeah. But yeah, I never got the cops called on me, at least. So
Would you like to scream in the yard today? Because
no,
you
no,
can.
I'm
It's
good.
totally
I'm
fine.
good.
I don't want
And
any shame attached to that.
I've come a long way, I feel like. So
I've come a long way. I'm not screaming in the
and
yard.
like and
I can't.
oh yeah, all the trees around me are like, it's gonna be okay with their little leaves, it's
The
okay.
tree-
They're there.
the trees start leaning away from you.
Like, oh dear.
Oh, folks.
Uh,
Oh, I wasn't ready for that.
but no, like
Mercy.
and I remember,
You just, cold called me with, I used to scream in the yard.
yeah, it's hard. And I mentioned my mom being a cabinet slammer, but like she also raised me by herself and she worked full time.
Well, yeah.
And she was
Come
overstimulated,
on, man.
overwhelmed. So like,
And you can't say as a mom, it's that TikTok that we watched of that poor girl who has 2 small children, and she just
yeah,
films that video in her car.
crashing out
And she
because you
literally
do.
opens the video. It's got like a bajillion views. And she's just crashing out in her car about being a single mom. And
Yeah.
she is like warning every woman,
Yeah.
don't get married and have kids unless you know you can be a single mom.
Yeah. Because it
Because
might
men
end up
are
that
dumb.
way. It might end up that way. And like for my mom, it did. And very early on, I was one when she left him because he just wasn't, he wasn't doing anything, but, and he didn't want kids anyway, but like,
Sweetie, I love you. It hits me so deep to know, to like hear just how deep in it you really were. And I don't know. It scares me now because I know how completely helpless I was just on an emotional and cognitive level to help you walk through that and not feel alone. I'm so glad we got the chance to have this conversation.
Yeah. So,
my wife was screaming in the yard. Hey, Adam, how's things? Oh, great. They're great. If you'd have asked me this 10 years ago, like it's just, oh, fine.
My neighbors, and they're so nice. They're probably like, she's just manifesting some stuff. It's okay. They're so great, though. Our neighbors are really great.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, but back to MLMs, because they'll make you want to scream too, I'm sure.
There you go. That's how you segue, folks.
Pyramid schemes, so to speak. Yeah. So basically, the top of the pyramid makes the most money. They're the ones like pocketing all the money making that's going on underneath, Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's usually crap being sold anyway.
Yeah,
it's usually stuff that's not,
No.
And I remember when like I think my first encounter with MLMs would have been like the Tupperware parties. Like my mom used to take me to Tupperware, but like I feel like back then that wasn't like they are today because it's like, I mean, you actually use Tupperware, and if you're selling it, then like I feel like the buy-in wasn't kind of like with LuLaRoe, you had to spend like $3,000 to buy in and get all these clothes that are like moldy too coming in, and like you got to try to sell them and blah 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 blah. There's a lot of pressure to get more people underneath you.
That's right.
I don't know how the Tupperware parties were, but it just felt like it was chill more so than today's like stuff. But yeah, you actually use Tupperware. I feel like that's
right. It has a practical utility.
All right. Those at the bottom are left with just stuff to sell and promises of these big rewards that they will only ever see if they recruit a lot of other people, And when I say they're just left with stuff to sell, like they're just left with like boxes of junk in their homes that they can't sell. And when they're like, they go and ask like management or whatever, like, why can't I can't sell all this stuff? What am I supposed to do? And they start making them feel like they're just bad at this. And it's ridiculous. But now the bigger the pyramid gets, the less likely the profit for those at the bottom too. So, and with Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes hurt people. They leave them financially ruined, because you have to remember too, like if you're paying this much money to get this product, even the money you're making back from selling those, you're just going to be, you're hoping to make even from what you spent getting it. Right. And then the real money comes from you getting people involved, which I know I would suck at.
I can just see you posting on social media when you started your business, your LuLaRoe business. Hey, girl, do you scream in the yard?
I know I do.
I know I do.
But at least I look cute doing it.
I was shaking hands with this tree and I thought of you.
Yeah. And he really complimented me on my leggings and how buttery soft they were, even though he can't feel my leggings. So that's what they used to say, buttery soft. I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, why do you want to wear butter leggings? Butter. Is butter soft? Like, I hate the feel of butter. Like if I'm cooking,
Yeah. You're drowning in the sensory
ugh. Yeah.
description from neurotypicals. Mhm.
So let's discuss a few that have made the news for scandal or controversy. And I'm going to
Let's.
go over what they sell as well as the claims that have any evidence behind them. Spoiler alert, they probably do not. And we'll also look at some takes from those who were involved in some of these groups as well. Now, I have to start with essential oils.
Please do.
Since we've been talking about wellness, the main ones I'm going to be talking about obviously have to do with wellness products because, like, I feel like why are we talking about leggings on a poison show, right? So I don't need to talk about LuLaRoe. Y'all want to know more about LuLaRoe, which is just the one I happen to know about mostly because of the people we've seen. There's like a whole show, I think, on that whole situation.
There's a documentary.
Yeah,
We watched it.
LuLaRich, I think it was called.
LuLaRich.
I think it's on Amazon or something.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating because it basically becomes a cult. Like a lot of these pyramid schemes basically become this whole cult because they have these events that you go to and to feel empowered.
Yep.
And like you hear all these like different tiers, like, oh, I'm diamond tier. Oh, I'm amethyst tier. I don't know if there's an amethyst. I'm just making that up. But they're named these things.
Yeah.
Essential oils is a complex subject, to be honest. Complex because it's not just a black and white sort of issue, like I think it's been treated. Now, some oils do have potential uses and are fine, while others have little to no use and are unsafe. So, and it depends on how you're using them. Like aromatherapy, I can get behind aromatherapy. If something makes you feel relaxed, cool. Like a little bit of we have essential oils are, first of all, they're not essential for you. That's not why they're called essential oils.
Right.
They come from plants and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's essential oils in shampoos and soaps and fragrances and things like that. So, I mean, if you're using any of those things that have a scent, you're likely using essential oils in some way. So it's not that they are all bad. Okay. Some find the smell of, lavender or citrus stuff to be helpful, just whether it's for focus or helping them feel sleepy, that kind of thing, feel less stressed out. But for many, it is a results may vary sort of situation. And it can be okay or it can be terrible. Now, with aromatherapy, it tends to be for more like symptomatic type relief for things, right? Certain issues like sleep, stress, and some even pain, usually through distraction or heat cold reaction to certain oils topically or even placebo.
Mm-hmm.
But even if it's placebo and it helps you with pain, at least it's helping you with pain. So I have nothing against that.
It's fair.
I'm well aware that the sense of smell can be very powerful in memory retrieval, mood, even help for nausea. I think I've seen studies where they went into like Alzheimer facilities, like facilities that take care of Alzheimer patients, dementia patients, and they would use certain smells and it would help them bring back memories to things because it was connected to a certain memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like music does this too.
Yes.
And we do this with music. So music can help in that way. Now, does it work for everyone like this? No, it does not. But some do say it helps. And if this helps and it's not harming you, then go for it, right? On that note, there is no scientific evidence that any such essential oil cures any illness or cancer. And I have to say that because we're going to talk about some claims in here in a moment. Yeah, use of essential oils as a replacement for medicine or treatment is just a foolish notion. Like symptom helper, sure. Cure all, no, absolutely not. Cure of anything, no. It doesn't cure things. It can help if you are recovering from something symptomatically, but that's about it. Now, even if you're using essential oils alongside medical treatment, there are things to consider, such as like where the product you're using came from, what its ingredients are there any contaminants reported? Is there testing done to be sure ingredients listed or all that's included? Because these aren't exactly regulated, at least here in the United States. I know for sure they're not regulated here. So they could just literally be putting stuff in these bottles and sticking a label on it. And it's like, boom, essential oils, like especially if you're ordering it from a random site or whatever. One thing to keep in mind is that essential oils and extracts are not the same either. Like extracts are a more concentrated form of ingredients made by plants that you may see listed as essential oils. So essential oils are made most commonly by steam distillation, in which steam is used to vaporize the volatile compounds of a plant, which are then cooled and condensed to separate the oil. There's also cold pressing, which is a common method for citrus oils. This involves the citrus fruit's peel being like pressed so it can basically extract the juices, and then the oil is separated from all of that. Then there's solvent extraction, in which solvents like hexane, ethanol, methanol are used to dissolve compounds, which are then filtered and the solvent is removed, hopefully. CO2, carbon dioxide, is also used as a solvent sometimes. Now, when used topically, diluting them in a sort of carrier oil is apparently the best way so that you can avoid a bad reaction from skin contact, direct skin contact, as if you're putting them on your skin without it being diluted. It's a higher concentration, obviously. Now, not all essential oils are appropriate for use on the skin either, so it's always important to check any kind of product instructions. This whole do your own research, actually doing your own research, not like going to a Facebook moms group, and that's not how you do research.
Third party independent is what you're looking for.
Also, don't use essential oils on damaged skin. I feel like these are just things we should mention if you choose to use them topically for whatever purpose. Oh, I do want to touch on the chemistry side of things concerning certain claims. So hold tight. We're not going to go too deep, but
Nope. I'm here for it.
Essential oils basically contain phenolic, alcoholic, and terpenoid compounds, which are volatile, meaning they evaporate easily in room temperature, basically what that means. They are a mixture of organic compounds like ketones, aldehydes, phenols, phenolic ethers, lactones, organic acids, etc. So for everybody that's like, they're natural, I'm like, yeah, well, that still does, like, they're still chemicals.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people tend to have this problem with, like, if it's natural, it's not a chemical. Like, it's still a chemical. Everything's chemical, okay? However, the chemical composition usually depends on growing conditions, the geographic location, and season. You can grow, the thing with essential oils too, you can grow the same plants in the same location and still get differing concentrations of different compounds. Like, it just isn't consistent all the time like that. Not really, no.
Wow.
Which is another reason why we don't just simply use plant parts for medication anymore. Like, we don't, like, if you've got a heart problem, you're not going to go eat some foxglove. They take this particular ingredient and they're able to make it in a safer form for you to take as a medication. That's basically the whole idea there. Also, for reference, terpenoids and terpenes aren't necessarily the same. Terpenoids are an oxidized form of the natural terpenes. And like I said, essential oils, like anything that coming from plants or whatever, can vary in how consistent these compounds are. Now, these aromatic compounds create the characteristic scent of many plants. The fragrance of most plants is due to a combination of terpenes. In nature, these basically protect the plant from animal grazing or infectious germs. They act as a protective thing for the plant, which is pretty cool. Plants are cool. Okay. So just because essential oils contain terpenoid compounds, it doesn't mean that they cure or even prevent illnesses in humans. Most of the studies I found on essential oils and their effects on bacteria or viruses was in vitro, meaning like in a test tube, which is very different than a human body, right? Like, they can see what it does to maybe certain cells, basically, in a test tube. And even so, would you drink hand sanitizer because it has antimicrobial properties? You know what I mean? Like, you're not... Right. The only like in vivo body studies I found were of small mammals, mainly rats. So in summary, some essential oils contain terpenoid compounds, which have been shown to have some antimicrobial properties and anti-cancer properties in vitro. But more studies are needed to see how this may be used in the future or if it can be used in the future. A lot of in vitro studies end up, I want to say a lot, but there's some that don't end up doing well in vivo studies simply because the amount it would take for it to do that thing in a human would also be too poisonous for said human, right? So there's just not a lot of study. And the studies that are there say they just don't support the idea of essential oils helping illness, cancer, any of that. So,
well,
they just
by
don't.
and large, biochemical engineers or biochemists, they're familiar with these compounds. They know what they do or don't do. There's not going to be this massive rush to figure out what essential oils cure or whatever, because it's like, well, they don't do that.
No, well,
we know this.
Even aromatherapists, a lot of them don't support the whole drinking of it because it's like, why would you do that?
ER visits are bad for business.
There's like two sides of the essential oils coin. It's like those who are like aromatherapy, and it's like this can help with this, this, and this. And it's like, cool, symptomatic relief of such and such. Cool. Even calming for like, I think I've seen the people who have children who have autism and use aromatherapy to help with calming. It doesn't work for everybody, but it, if it works for your kid and it helps them kind of calm down,
Totally.
that's great.
I can see how that would work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, cool. But then there's the other side where it's like, if you take thieves oil or you mix these oils together and put them in your food, or you drink this, it will protect you against COVID, which is another claim that they've made. So concentrations of different compounds, as I mentioned, can vary. This makes it very hard to study as well, because like I said, you can grow the exact same plants, same place, and you still have these variables to stumble over. Also, blind studies are kind of our best way of testing the efficacy of a product like this. And it's kind of hard to do a study like that when the main property of an essential oil is smell. Like it's kind of hard to hide what you're being given. So should any specific ingredients in essential oils that are found to be helpful in preventing or managing illness be used in the future, they would honestly still be isolated and processed in such a way that it would be safe for human use at the appropriate amount. Just like different ingredients in a plant can be used in a medication. Like I said, this is a complex subject. I mean, it's been made complex by both sides. There have been some studies and meta-analysis of studies that have shown that, like peppermint oil, for instance, can help with IBS symptoms. It doesn't cure IBS, but peppermint has been shown to help relax the muscles in the gut. It's the menthol, technically, in peppermint that has this sort of anti-spasmodic effect.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's not magic. It is science,
Yeah, there's like a chemical mechanism happening.
Yeah,
Interesting.
a lot of people that sell essential oils or like use them, they tend to apply more of a spirituality sort of situation. So I mentioned the spiritual side of this because there have been a lot of people trying to sell this kind of stuff with that in mind, saying like, you don't have to worry about conventional medicine because that's not natural, but these are natural because like God or whoever it is that they are like going back to worshiping, whatever, like he provided us these, as if there's no chemicals involved in this situation. But
Sure.
So my personal thing is no problem if you use these topically to do stuff with spirituality, whatever, aromatherapy, great.
Sure.
But it's the telling people to stop conventional medicine if they have like cancer or a chronic illness so that they can buy your product that you're going to get a cut from, or that your organization is going to get a cut from, saying that it's going to heal them of all these different things when it's just not. Because there's belief and then there's fact and evidence. We are specifically going after these big businesses because people are always like, oh, big pharma. I'm like, these people are making money off of you too, millions of dollars. Okay. So don't think that you're going to escape this sort of corporate, thing by going over here and trying what's natural. Like they're literally selling you this stuff. Okay. I'm not a fan of the whole big pharma thing either. I'm not a fan of the way they sell their medications for way too much money, hurting people in the long run. That,
With
I'm
no
not.
consequence.
Medication should not cost this much to treat, life-altering.
EpiPen should not be $700.
No, it's crooked in itself.
Yes,
I agree with that.
it's evil.
But you have to remember, these people are selling you supplements and stuff too. They're making money off of you too. They're just trying to make you think that they side with you on this situation. In reality, they want you to come to them so they can get your money. Okay? So let's just be clear about that. So I mentioned peppermint having this sort of anti-spasmodic effect, but the whole like dropping bits of oil in your mouth, that's not going to do anything. You would have to have it in a form that would be stable enough to actually get to your intestines, right? And there are some people that are like, well, when I eat like a peppermint or I eat a candy cane, like it makes my tummy feel better. Maybe it does, or maybe it's placebo, whatever. If it does, great. But that's different than dropping these concentrated oils into your mouth, or God knows what else is in them, So eat a peppermint, great, go for it. I will say though, you don't just drink some oils on your shelf. You just don't do that. Okay, don't do that.
No.
It would have to be in a pill form to get to your intestines without being destroyed. Anyway, you can use these alongside modern medical treatment. That's great. As long as they don't have any issues with medications you're taking, no problems there. But if you have GERD or you have acid reflux, things like that, this might backfire actually because of the acidity. I can't do peppermint drinks or candies or anything like that strictly because it gives me heartburn. It gives me bad acid reflux. So that might, there's another example of how it might not help you if you have other issues. Gallbladder issues too. This can actually hurt you more than help you. So tea tree oil, this one, this one drives me insane. So many people claim so many things about tea tree oil. Now, it can be good for skin, really against acne for some people. Some. When used topically in diluted form in appropriate amounts, it shows some promising result in those dealing with acne or breakouts because it does have antibacterial and antifungal properties. And you may see acne products that list, tea tree oil as an ingredient, and that's fine because a chemist has formulated it for safe use, right? It's been diluted, it's been formulated for this particular product. But again, this only works for some people, as others may actually experience dryness, irritation, redness, itching, and burning, especially in those with sensitive skin, eczema, or acne-prone skin. So it either works for you or it really sucks for you. You know what I mean? It really depends. It should never be ingested or put into the ears. I don't know why you would do that, but honestly, I've seen some interesting posts out there of people telling people how to use things. So it is also not recommended for use in pregnant women in any form. If ingested, poisoning may occur with such effects as confusion, loss of muscle coordination, breathing problems, and even coma and death. Regular or extensive inhalation can irritate the respiratory tract and lungs, and poisoning this way could also result in shortness of breath, coughing, chemical pneumonia, and also coma and death.
There you go.
So don't be huffing tea tree oil. Oh my God. Now, this is also mainly with undiluted oils as well, okay? Because obviously less diluted is going to be more concentrated. Now, essential oils have shown some pest repellent properties as well and may find some future use in this area to repel disease-causing insects like mosquitoes. Still, more study is needed before being recommended as such. Now, if you're using an oil to stop critters biting you on a hike and it seems fine, cool, great. What I mean is you just should not rely on essential oils alone to prevent such illnesses as malaria when traveling to endemic areas, especially when there are preventative measures already recommended and used widely. If it gets into the ears, it can damage the inner ear. It's just very irritating. In the eyes, it can cause corneal irritation and damage. Bergamot is another I looked into. This oil is for topical use, while there is a juice that you can ingest, like a juice version, because bergamot is a fruit. It's like a citrus fruit. Just like you have like orange juice, there's a bergamot juice out there, I suppose.
Is it akin to an orange?
Yeah, it's a citrus fruit, basically. Some hold to claims that the juice helps with LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, and oral bacteria. Just brush your teeth. While the oil is used by some for inflammation and minor aches and pains, the only promising research done for its effect on inflammation and pain was for rats. A study was done in human trials in which the participants were given bergamot, topically, bergamot and relaxing music, just relaxing music, or nothing at all during a minor procedure, and there were no differences noted in pain or discomfort. So there's just no evidence that it does anything. There again, maybe the placebo effect may help some people. I don't. So bergamot can also mess with your blood sugar levels, though. It can cause them to drop. So it should not be used with diabetic medication or before surgeries or, and you should always let your doctor know if you're ingesting anything like this or even putting it on topically because it can get into your body via the skin. So just like grapefruit juice doesn't go well with blood pressure medicines. Like these are things that your doctor should know that you are dealing with, right? So it's just another thing to think about. It can also cause photosensitivity and increased risk of severe sunburns if you're putting it on your skin Yeah, it's highly advised not to ingest bergamot essential oil as you can poison yourself with too much or with added toxins. However, oil of bergamot has been used in production of food and drink products such as with Earl Grey tea. But there again, it is like in those instances, it's regulated in how it's used and formulated and all that. Rosemary oil has been claimed by some to improve memory by smelling it, but nothing has shown this even when tested on people.
So it's just an unfounded claim.
Yeah. One essential oil that does seem to show benefits is lavender, as the smell has improved sleep in several studies. Some also find citrus smells uplifting and focus enhancing. Now, there's no guarantee that it'll work, only that it may. Okay. Neither of these does anything for me. And still, there is just some research to be done as to how these smells would help sleep or mood. Like maybe it's chemical, maybe there's some encouragement of the neurotransmitters up in there, or simply because the smell is attached to memory and we associate these smells with certain moods or activities. I mean, yeah. Like, what if you had a bad experience and we're also smelling lavender at the same time you had that bad experience? I imagine it wouldn't cause you to have
Right. It would trigger you.
yeah, like it wouldn't help stress, right?
Mhm.
Like yeah. Now, essential oils are, like I mentioned, not regulated here in America. So there's just no oversight to ensure quality or purity. They can say whatever they want, to be honest. As such, there may be substances/chemicals within these products that can cause toxic effects as well. And I've the two companies we're going to talk about in a minute, like there were a couple of instances where like one lab would say one thing, but then they would have their own labs and like, right? We didn't find any of that.
Okay.
So here we are. Cool. Thanks. Um,
Thanks for ruining
so
science.
cool. There's also this myth out there that essential oils never go bad or expire like other chemicals, because that's what they are, whether the bottle says natural or not. They oxidize and degrade and lead to irritation or allergic reaction. So, yeah. Another myth to debunk here is that essential oils, even the ones labeled pure, can lead to allergic reactions in some people. Some people think that you can't have an allergic reaction to, I mean, you can have an allergic reaction to
Yes,
like
you can.
anything, to be honest.
Yes.
Some are more rare than others, but
You have an allergic reaction to people every day.
I do. One common ingredient in essential oils is alcohol, which can be drying as well. So products with essential oils that are marketed for skincare are not really great options for people, especially with those with dry skin or sensitive skin. So like it's just not it's just drying your skin out, aging your skin, just so you know. And these are usually the products too that have like scents to them, like it's scented. It's probably because of essential oils. Now, there have been incidents of tainted oils from well-known brands. In November of 2021, for instance, Walmart recalled a product sold there from Better Homes and Gardens. It was their essential oil infused aromatherapy room spray with gemstones. Not sure what the gemstones are for.
Gemstone?
It was basically a lavender/chamomile scent. And it was recalled after it was linked to an outbreak of the bacteria Burkholderia pseudomallii, which causes melioidosis. Melioidosis. I just want to put that extra I in there too. Melioidosis, which is a condition that is difficult to diagnose because it's not, especially here, it's not exactly endemic here as it is in some places, but it can be fatal. This bacteria naturally occurs in soil and water in many tropical and subtropical regions. While it's not common in America, this spray was imported from an area where it is common. I think it was from India at the time. But exposure to this bacterium typically occurs through inhalation, ingestion, or the percutaneous route. So right. Now, melioidosis can manifest as a wide array of clinical syndromes with just various of various severity, including skin abscesses with or without fever, pneumonia, generalized sepsis with or without multiple organ abscesses, genitourinary infection, and encephalomyelitis. So it's a pretty rough.
That's a lot to go on.
It's a pretty rough bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the CDC confirmed the link of the bacteria found in the spray with 4 cases of melioidosis in Texas, Kansas, Minnesota, and Georgia. 2 of these cases resulted in death. One was in Kansas. It was a 53-year-old, and in Georgia with a 6-year-old. Now, in the case in Texas, actually, a 4-year-old girl was left with brain damage after being hospitalized in a pediatric ICU and undergoing multiple rounds of antibiotics as the bacteria seemed resistant by the time she was properly diagnosed. She was in the hospital for 2.5 months and on IV antibiotics for a total of 8 weeks, with further antibiotic therapy planned for an additional 6 months after. Her respiratory and neurologic systems declined during her stay. She was intubated. She survived, but even after 3 months post-discharge, she was left wheelchair-bound and nonverbal. I mean, she was completely healthy before this.
Yeah.
After a lot of intense physical, occupational, and speech therapy, about 8 times a week, she did improve some and was able to hold her head up better, but doctors could not give a guaranteed prognosis for her. It sucks. And you could be saying, well, that was an air freshener spray with essential oils, not just essential oils specifically. It was contaminated. However, like the same kind of contamination can and has happened with specific essential oils as well. It's just like people talk about how well, they're antibacterial and they're antiviral. And it's like, these products can still be contaminated with bacteria, viruses, other toxins, things like that.
Yeah.
These cases just happen to be, unfortunately, in a more common product. So sold at Walmart through Better Home and Garden to me. They're thinking like, oh, room spray to make my room smell nice. It's not like they were planning on drinking the stuff, but through inhalation.
Yeah.
This kind of, and these oils, they're not cheap. I understand medication costs money too, but they're backed by evidence, and essential oils are just not. Do they have their uses? Sure, just not as a medicine. It's not just an attack on essential oils, because I feel like a lot of people talk about it as if they're coming after our essential oils. I don't care. I just don't want you to be scammed, I would say the same thing about certain supplements, including large doses of vitamins or like the IV, vitamin things that they have going around. Yeah, you can overdose on vitamin C. And while vitamin C is important for immune health, the idea of more is better is just not how the body works. It's just not. Okay, there was my long-winded take on essential oils. So let's talk about these 2 MLMs that promote and sell them. Young Living was the first of these 2, so we're going to start with them. Young Living is a multi-level marketing company that specializes, of course, in essential oils and in supplements regarding essential oils. The founder, Donald Gary Young, claims that he got into alternative medicine after he suffered a near-fatal logging accident injury at the age of 24. In this case, he fractured his skull, ruptured his spinal cord, broke like 19 bones. Anyway, he claimed that once he woke up from the coma, doctors told him that he would never walk again. After a couple of suicide attempts, he decided to drink nothing but water and lemon juice. I'm not sure where he got this idea, but after 253 days, he regained feeling in his toes.
Well, see, Gary, what we call that is an incomplete spinal cord injury.
Also, it takes a while for your nerves to heal.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he probably has never once mentioned what the neurologist actually diagnosed him, how he actually classified his spinal injury.
Yeah, it's not the lemon juice and water are not making this happen. What happens when you drink water with lemon juice? You're just drinking water with lemon juice. May have some heartburn. It's just not gonna do anything. You might get a little vitamin C from it, but I mean, we've already talked about that. So, and according to his biography, D. Gary Young, the world leader in essential oils, which was written by his wife and published by Young Living. According to that, his wife said that he walks today is a miracle that defies his medical prognosis. He later took a home study course for nutrition and herbology. And in 1973, he went to work as a truck driver. He did some odd jobs here and there, worked on a pipeline in Alaska for a bit.
Let me just
doing a lot of different stuff.
If you can work as a truck driver
or a pipe,
your spinal cord injury wasn't that bad. Please continue.
It was the lemon water. Okay.
Well,
not the lemon water. I still see TikToks or different social media things drink water with lemon in it for a week and you'll notice this difference. And it's you might feel better because you're probably drinking more water.
Yeah, you're probably actually being hydrated.
Yeah, a lot of us are dehydrated anyway, let's be honest. Now, in 1979, he enrolled at the Burroughs VitaFlex Institute, which is this unaccredited school dedicated to the teachings of Stanley Burroughs. I'm going to tell you about this man.
Please.
Okay. Because I went down a
Can't
rabbit hole
wait.
with this man.
It doesn't sound like a cult at all.
This Burroughs fellow was super big into alternative medicine, basically replacing conventional medicine. He was into colored light therapy, reflexology, and massage therapy, which, okay, like get a massage, but it doesn't cure illness. Also, I hate massages. Like, don't touch me. I don't like them. They actually make me hurt worse because I'm like tense the entire time. So yeah, he also created this lemonade diet cleanse, and he promoted it in a 1976 book called The Master Cleanse. Now, this Master Cleanse is a no-food diet with the substitution of tea or lemonade with maple syrup and cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper is just hot right now. No pun intended.
It just seems kind of gross.
Mm-hmm.
He was also a nudist. So there's that.
What?
He was a committed nudist.
So what, Burroughs?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So
Live that life, brother.
He walking around naked with his maple syrup, lemonade, cayenne pepper mixture, and you know what? Live your life.
Sounds like such a stable guy.
But he claimed to be able to cure all manner of diseases, including cancer, ulcers, and the common cold through his alternative medicine techniques. And when I think of this guy and other people like him, I'm thinking of that. Is it Dr. Amen, the guy on TikTok who does his brain scans?
Brain MD.
And I'm not saying the man doesn't have any smarts, but he is.
Yeah, no, he's a trained physician.
But he's like he's a psychiatrist, isn't he? Which I mean, yeah, he went to medical school and then went that direction.
Residency.
Yeah. But sometimes, like, I always get this feel from him. Like when I see him, I'm like
I'm being like,
or he'll say things, he'll use certain words, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't like he'll say some things that are true, but he'll mix that with certain things that are like completely out there. And it's like, okay,
he'll mix it with something to sell his supplements from his link tree.
Yeah, which he sells these supplements for pretty pricey, for big prices. So yeah, in one example, Burroughs claimed to have cured a woman of breast cancer by using colored lights to draw the cancer out of the woman.
Okay.
He also provided courses to teach his techniques, claiming at one point that it takes you 10 years to learn medicine. I can teach you my system in 10 days. Some big red flags there. Anyway, he was actually charged and convicted of practicing medicine without a license and felony murder in the death of Lee Swatzenberg, a cancer patient who had died under his treatment of colored lights and massage. According to the facts shared by the Supreme Court of California, and this is what they had to say, the defendant instructed Lee to drink the lemonade, salt water, and herb tea, but consume nothing more for the ensuing 30 days. So they could just take a nutrition away from a cancer patient, but okay. At the defendant's behest, the Swatzenbergs bought a lamp equipped with some colored plastic sheets to bathe Lee in various tints of light. The defendant also agreed to massage Lee from time to time for an additional fee per session. Rather than improve, within 2 weeks, Lee's condition began rapidly to deteriorate. He developed a fever and was growing progressively weaker. The defendant counseled Lee that all was proceeding according to plan and convinced the young man to postpone a bone marrow test urged by his doctor. During the next week, Lee became increasingly ill. He was experiencing severe pain in several areas, including his abdomen, and vomiting frequently. The defendant administered deep abdominal massages on 2 successive days, each time telling Lee that he would soon recuperate. Lee did not recover as the defendant expected, however, and the patient began to suffer from convulsions and excruciating pain. He vomited with increasing frequency. Despite the defendant's constant attempts at reassurance, the Swatzenbergs began to panic when Lee convulsed for a 3rd time after the latest abdominal massage. 3.5 weeks into the treatment, the couple spent the night at the defendant's house, where Lee died of a massive hemorrhage of the mesentery in the abdomen.
Oh, Lord. So he basically, through mechanical trauma, caused bleeding in the gut.
The evidence presented at trial strongly suggested the hemorrhage was a direct result of the massages performed by the defendant. And if you have cancer, and then, like, say you have your liver is being affected as well, like, your clotting factors are not going to be great. So, I'm sure that didn't help. But like he basically told him, "Oh, don't get regular treatment. Oh, you're feeling bad. That means it's coming out. It's great.
Mm.
Burroughs was actually sentenced to 15 years in prison, and he served 39 months of that sentence while his appeals were pending. The second-degree murder conviction was reversed by the California Supreme Court in 1984 in favor of like this involuntary manslaughter, like being closer to the case. This was dropped as well, though, because it apparently would not have added to his sentence. Anyway, he was released and was charged again for practicing medicine without a license in 1987. So he got 15 years, but he did way less time than that.
Brother.
And then he went on to do the same kind of stuff.
It's awful.
So that was one of Gary Young's influences.
Mm-hmm.
And from 1979 to 1981, Gary Young attended Donsbach Nutrition University. This is an unaccredited school in Huntington Beach, California.
What's it called?
Donsbach. It's Donsbach.
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 Sounds like a German name. Okay.
But it was operated by Kurt Donsbach, who was
There you go.
an unlicensed chiropractor.
What? A chiropractor lying about medicine?
But he was also unlicensed, so he's just a regular dude, I don't know, who liked
Yeah.
chiropractors. Maybe he got his stuff from a seance. I'm sorry. Was that a bit mean?
You're not, though.
As someone who has, I don't like to judge people for going and trying things, but as someone who has seen like what can happen with a chiropractor, like seeing people just paralyzed the rest of their lives, having strokes because they severed a vertebral artery after their neck was, it really bothers me. So no judgment, but you'll never see me go to a chiropractor. But in 1980, he enrolled in a therapeutic massage program at the American Institute of Physiogenerology. The institute's founder later explained that Young left after attending only a few classes, doing a third of the homework, and owing an unpaid debt for tuition. So he didn't stay there long. In the early 1980s, he spent a quarter semester at Spokane Community College. He's just getting around. He would later claim to have received a doctorate in naturopathy in 1985, but this was from Bernardine University, which was an unaccredited school, if you will, and has been labeled as a mail order diploma mill.
Yes.
In 1982, his first wife was giving birth in one of Gary Young's clinics he had floating around.
What?
And
they were delivering babies?
Yes.
Rebecca.
He was delivering babies. But in 1982, she was giving birth in one of these clinics in this whirlpool bath, and like no judgment to those who like these kind of births. But this guy was not the guy to be delivering babies either way. And also, I do have to say that hospital births are safer than home births. I'm sorry, but it's true because the price tag sucks. I don't like that. It's honestly criminal. I get it. But should something go wrong, the baby and mom are where they need to be. Can we be better with the, mortality rate here with, childbirth? Yeah, we can. But still, it is still safer in a hospital.
Yeah.
Also, the vitamin K shot is important. Please give them the vitamin K shot. It prevents them from hemorrhaging in their skull.
Side note.
Which has, and does happen. Not to everyone, but it prevents it. So we don't make enough vitamin K that early on. We just don't. Anyway, the baby whose name was Rachel actually died soon after birth due to complications that could have been helped at a hospital. No charges came their way for this, but it did get the attention of investigators. So he ran this clinic in Spokane, Washington. He was advertising services, like just everything, including childbirth. Now, during an undercover investigation against him, he claimed to be able to deliver a baby and to discover cancer with a blood test and to treat it as well. So he was arrested and pleaded guilty to practicing medicine without a license. He just got a slap on the wrist, though, with like a 60-day suspended sentence, $250 fine, and a year of probation.
Unbelievable.
He was told not to do it again. But did he listen?
No. Well.
He actually went to Mexico and offered his services as a naturopathic doctor there, promoting his detoxification therapy for lupus and cancer, specifically. Now, John Hurst, who was this reporter for the Los Angeles Times, submitted a blood sample posing as a patient, and he was told that it showed signs of aggressive cancer and liver dysfunction. This health educator working with Young suggested that Hurst undergo the clinic's $2,000 a week detox program. But the reporter revealed that the blood sample had actually come from a cat, this healthy 7-year-old tabby cat whose name was Boomer, by the way. And the health educator replied that the cat was probably not healthy and probably has leukemia. It did not. It was healthy. But they couldn't even tell that it wasn't human blood, like whatever tests they were using, right? Young opened the Young Life Wellness Center in California, which was shut down by a judge in 1988. There were complaints filed against Young by the state of California alleging unfair, deceptive, untrue, and misleading advertising and unlawful, unfair, and fraudulent business practices regarding Young's selling and manufacturing of unapproved medical advices and drugs. And also advising, I keep saying advising. Well, he was advising it too. Advertising that he could cure cancer and other diseases. In 2000, he moved on to Utah, where he opened the Young Life Research Clinic. Research? Really?
Really, Gary?
He was with his third wife at this point, Mary Young, and she'll come up later. I think she's the current CEO, if she's still alive, of Young Living, the MLM. Okay, yeah.
Their website actually confirms that, yes.
So he was with her at this point. Now, this clinic provided essential oils and other alternative therapies for the treatment of everything from depression to cancer. In 2004, a clinic employee was charged by the state of Utah for performing lab tests on a patient without a license to do so and for diagnosing and prescribing products for this purpose. Another who was employed there was a physician, Sherman Johnson, who had actually lost his license a decade prior after being investigated by the state medical board because of a woman that had died while he was treating her for cancer. And that case was interesting. According to the Salt Lake Tribune, after a nurse raised questions about that woman's death, the body was exhumed and it was determined that she had had multiple personality disorder, historically, but she did not have cancer. Johnson had apparently believed her story that she had been injected with cancer by a group of witches and gay doctors. She obviously had a real psychological issue, but this doctor was like, yeah, you probably were. Let's treat you. She ended up dying.
You know what? I'm in.
She ended up dying from an overdose of Demerol.
Oh,
which was administered by Johnson. And wow. he pleaded guilty to manslaughter, but I think somehow he ended up getting his license back later on.
What? Who would ever do that?
Okay. Now, in 2005, the clinic settled a lawsuit with a patient who claimed that they were given infusions of vitamin C that caused near fatal kidney failure, because it can do that. You don't need vitamin infusions. You just don't. I know that's a big trend right now. You don't need it. Honestly, if you are very deficient and your doctor is like, let's do it, then I get that. That's one thing. But if you are a healthy, normal, non-deficient person, you don't need that. No, you don't need that. I'm sorry. They're just taking your money.
Is it a scam? Yep.
This location actually ended up closing, probably due to many things, including this lawsuit. Young actually opened another in Ecuador called Nova Vita Medical Clinic. I think that one's actually still there. The company's former COO, who was one of the eventual doTERRA founders that we're going to talk about in a moment, his name is David Sterling.
Yes.
He also told The New Yorker that he was alarmed when he saw a video of Young, whose only medical degree is a doctorate in naturopathy from an unaccredited school, that diploma mill. He saw him performing gallbladder surgery and administering essential oils by IV at this Ecuador clinic.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Sterling...
Did he successfully remove a gallbladder?
I don't know what happened to that patient. So.
Okay.
This was done in Ecuador. I doubt there was a whole lot of documentation and such. Okay?
Yeah.
just the video that he had seen. When Sterling tried to refocus the company on just essential oils and away from controversial practices, which they could definitely get in trouble for, he encountered a lot of resistance from those who were just super loyal to the Youngs. So, like, very much culty type. And they had already started the MLM by this point. They had people distributing their products and selling their products and believing, like, yeah, we can cure cancer and all this stuff with these products, right? With these essential oils, as well as like supplements and ideas and their lemon water, whatever. And I'm not saying lemon water isn't healthy. Go for it, drink it, but it's not going to cure cancer or a spinal injury. It's just not. So David Sterling, he was actually eventually fired for, I guess, sort of playing this role of, hey, maybe we should do something different. I don't think we should be doing this. An email that Young sent him read, you're going to enjoy this. Satan exercised dominion over you to the point where you started thinking that you had knowledge and ability greater than anyone else, including me, the creator of the company. My dude.
Oh, this got so good.
So
I am thoroughly enjoying this.
So it gets better. Yeah, you're going to hear David Sterling's name again because he comes up in our next company. Also started in Utah. Both of these companies were started in Utah, and most of the people involved went to BYU, that super Mormon college. Is it a private school? Is it a private school?
Yes.
Because like you have to abide by their rules, which are very strict and Mormon in how they were made.
Yes, and the BYU connection is how you got sucked into the secret lives of Mormon
Yeah,
lives.
I'm like, I am invested now in the show.
We are also the underbelly of society that watches stupid reality TV.
I'm invested because I'm like, why do these women hang out with each other? They don't like each other. And I get it. Like, it's hyperbolic in the way that reality TV kind of is.
Yes.
But it's like seeing a train wreck. You just can't look away. I mean, if you see a train wreck, you should probably try and help people. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I can't do anything for these ladies. So now I should also mention that Gary Young he was spending lots of money, like doing weird things too. Like he liked to build these little towns that were like Old West towns or like medieval towns. And he would like to play as Sir Gary and like do jousting things. I don't know. He was very much into being a cowboy sort of thing.
So he would build an entire old Western town just so he could cosplay.
Mm-hmm. Which, hey, I'm down with cosplay. It's just...
Well, yeah.
This guy, it gets weird though, because when asked about this situation later, about the whole David Sterling thing being fired and the email that he sent him, a spokesperson for the company said, successful company founders are often cut from a different cloth than the rest of us, which is true of Gary Young and his pioneering cowboy spirit.
Okay.
All right. Like, dang. Like, so he's a cult leader at this point, I guess. Or they're treating him like one. I don't know. It's weird.
Cloth. He is not like the rest of us. His ways are not like our ways.
Yeah. So a lot of history there, but their MLM started in 1993 when he and his wife, Mary, launched Young Living essential oils in Utah for the obvious promotion of such. By 2017, they were one of the top sellers of essential oils in the U.S. with over 3 million customers at that time. Now, he stepped down in 2015 when his wife, Mary, became the CEO. He actually ended up dying of 2018. According to his wife, his death was due to a series of strokes, but his son said that Gary had cancer.
Yes.
And that he died from that.
I've told you this before. I think there's a very prominent figure in the cult that I used to be a part of, and she passed away from cancer herself. And like,
oh yeah, I know this.
She was super duper into alternative health and wellness. She even wrote a book about it. Like, she always was a space cadet even before cancer happened.
She would do some interesting things,
super weird
even
stuff,
like in the spiritual side, like that you wouldn't that a lot of other, I think, people even within her church are like, huh? Mm-hmm. So I think,
but because of who she was, and the status she had, it was just called normal. But like, I have this suspicion that she was sick long before she publicly said so.
Could have been.
And that sounds just like what you just said about Gary Young. He died from cancer.
Yeah. I mean, he
He didn't
stepped
die.
down for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which apparently the
Anyways,
essential oils could not cure.
what do you know?
But, and the woman that you're talking about too, like the lady that encouraged her to do different alternative medicine stuff is still alive on Instagram doing
Yes.
just that, the same thing.
Yes. She
Um,
herself has cancer.
yeah. And like, it's not, apparently this thing that she's promoting isn't working, but she's still promoting it. And
The
it's like,
first line.
it's just really sad to me.
Oh, extremely.
You know,
The first line in her Instagram bio is beat terminal cancer in 90 days. And now she has cancer in her brain.
and she wrote something recently about having to like, oh, I really didn't want to go to the hospital to get this treatment, but it's what I need to do. And it's like, you have been leading all these people astray for how long? And see, like, spiritual beliefs, I get that. But like, when you start like encouraging people to not get vaccinated or to not seek treatment for things, like, you're hurting people.
That's right.
This isn't just your belief anymore. Now it is
Mhm.
you selling this idea and telling them that it's going to work.
Yep.
You're essentially conning them. So don't like that. Now, before jumping into specific claims, let's go over doTERRA because they're connected to Young Living. Okay. doTERRA, I think I knew about doTERRA probably before I knew about Young Living, but mostly because of Facebook. People sending me things. Now, doTERRA was founded in Utah in 2008 by some former executives of Young Living, including David Sterling, Emily Wright, David Hill, Corey B. Lindley, Gregory Cook, Robert Young, and Mark Wolfert. Now, this company's name is apparently inspired by the Latin phrase for gift of the earth. Terra, I guess. Sterling, the former COO of Young Living, and he was the CEO of doTERRA at one point. He just has experience in being the corporate kind of guy. He's got a BS in business from BYU, an MBA from University of Utah. I literally had to go looking for this information. It's not really written all there on the
Like his education
site. Like they have bios on the site, but like I had for most of them, I had to go looking to see what their background was in.
like on a different website.
Yeah, like I had to look them up. I had to do some research, like just in them, because I was like, why are you involved in this? Are you involved in healthcare whatsoever? Do you know anything about science whatsoever?
Right.
Because that's the first thing I wanted to know. Most of these guys are just business types or marketing. So in 2022, David was actually called as a mission president for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Armenia and Georgia, the country, and subsequently stepped down as CEO. So he got kind of called away from that. I don't know how all that works, to be honest, but that's
CEO
just
of the company. Oh no, it's required.
Yeah, like it's like of their
You're going to do a
religion.
2-year mission.
Yeah, or you get you get thrown out of
You
the
get
church.
excommunicated. Yeah.
Whatever. Now, see, I've been watching this show with these women, and they do like all these things, and I'm just like, but that's not allowed. That's not allowed. They're on TikTok. They're like doing all this stuff, and I'm like, somebody has to know. And they're like, well, I don't want to get thrown out of the church, so I'm gonna not do
like,
this.
sweetie.
And I'm like, but you're doing all the other things that you're not supposed to. Like, why are you still involved? And I get because maybe it's a social, cultural thing for them. Like they don't know anything else, so they don't want to get separated from what they know. But like in terms of like, in my brain, in terms of religion, if you don't want to do the things that religion tells you to do, why are you a part of that religion?
Exactly. Because they were born into it. That's part of it. And also because
like just don't do it.
Right. But it is meeting some built-in needs that every human has: community, meaning, identity.
Like I want people to live their lives and whatever that means for them religiously,
sure,
physically, like whatever it is you want to do. Like I'm like, do it, do it, queen. But like at the same time though, it's like, this isn't something you seem to want to do.
No, they don't. They're only doing it because of the threat of expulsion.
But see, that's very sad to me. Like
that's extremely sad.
Those same people are like these people who are just using people and conning people.
Yes, that's why MLMs succeed in fundamentalist religious contexts.
Yeah, a lot of them are started by people who are like, LuLaRoe was started by that couple that swears that they're like Christian of some sort.
They say they're Christian up and down. And I'm like, your lawyers say different, honey.
Yeah, like they are terrible people. Like,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be a terrible person.
Much as y'all are in court, you lying somewhere, y'all ain't saved.
I'm just,
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
don't know.
That's what fascinates me about these groups is that, oh yeah, I see them and I'm like, yep, used to do that. Used to be you. Now I wasn't a multimillionaire from social media in that
Uh-huh.
context, but I
And-
understand.
But I never wanted to come off as I'm judging them.
No,
It's just me, like, it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
inconsistency between, like,
Right.
why do you do this if you'd
Exactly.
rather be doing this?
It doesn't make any intellectual sense for you to participate in this group that wants nothing to do with who you really are as a person. It's not strictly economical. It's cultural. It's
Yeah.
cognitive. It's
Well, the way they get you to join
psychological warfare. Yes.
is the same way that, say, a cult would get you to join, right? They get you
There
in.
it is.
They prey
There
on
it is.
whatever it is they can to get you in.
Yes.
And they lie to you.
It's
and so,
predatory behavior.
yeah.
That's why they're led by terrible people. Gary Young, if you can hear me, you're a piece of trash.
But he's dead. So
That's why I say if you can hear me.
now, if you say it into a bottle of oil, he might hear you. I don't know which kind though. Now I just want to like start a character that's in D&D and like uses like
They fight with essential oils.
They use essential oils, but it's like he's a necromancer, and like they're called, the oils have different names. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Sorry. Y'all forgive me. I'm not trying to be mean. I hope I'm not mean. Anyway, so that's Sterling. Now, at least he had like the conscience to call out like Young, like, you shouldn't be doing, why are you doing surgery? That's not right. Now, Emily Wright, who is the chair of the board, according to doTERRA's website, came into the business knowing really nothing about essential oils, she said. And she actually said she felt embarrassed that she ended up working for a network marketing company. And on top of that, it was a company that sold voodoo oils. She's literally saying this in her bio. The bio continues with, however, over time, her perspective shifted. And she had 2 powerful experiences with the oils that empowered her as a mother to take care of her children in a natural manner.
Okay, that sounds like a testimony in church. That's exactly what that sounds
Or
like.
she saw her paycheck.
Hey-o.
Now, David Hill, this is in his bio, Dr. Hill oversees all science, research, medical, and safety departments at doTERRA. He's known across the world as an expert in essential oils and integrative medicine. David Hill is a chiropractor.
Yikes.
I had to look for that information too. It just says Dr. Hill. It doesn't say that in his bio.
Right.
I had to go look and see what kind of doctor he was.
What do you mean by doctor? Explain yourself.
And then when I saw DC, I was like, okay.
Doctor of chiropractic.
Like, why don't at least say it on your bio what you are? Doctor of what?
Yes. They don't want no smoke.
Corey Lindley has a bachelor's degree in accounting and a master's in business administration. His bio on the site was literally one of the only ones that mentioned any sort of education background for some reason. Him and like, I think one other, like Greg Cook, I think, who I'm about to talk about. Now, he has been involved in sales there and elsewhere from what I read. Greg Cook is just another business executive. Greg received a bachelor's degree in international relations from BYU, Brigham Young University, if you will. Rob Young is a marketing guy. I just realized his last name is Young. I wonder if he's related to whatever. I didn't even see that when I was doing it, but he has an expertise in skincare, personal care, household consumer products, and developing and marketing nutritional wellness products and programs. That's what's listed on his thing. Mark Wolfert is the lawyer/legal counsel. So that's just, there you go. Now, in 2013, Young Living actually filed a lawsuit against doTERRA for stealing trade secrets and basically reproducing their business model. Young Living actually produced this analysis of doTERRA products that suggested that the company was using synthetic chemicals in their organic products, which I hate to break it to everybody, but neither company is certified organic. They just can't be, because they get some things from overseas. They just, they get things from other companies that can't be considered organic. There was this testimony saying that the oil, they didn't match any oils sold by doTERRA. Like the things that Young Living was trying to show were like, look, see, they're selling things that aren't organic, but these oils they gave had nothing to do with doTERRA. So they were just kind of producing false evidence, I guess, because they were just mad. Now, in July of 2018, the court ruled that Young Living acted in bad faith and had misled the court. I mean, they mislead everybody else. So the judge ordered Young Living to cover doTERRA's attorney costs. So there was that. As of 2017, doTERRA reported having approximately 1,650 corporate employees and over 3 million wellness advocates across 100 countries. They just actually expanded to Kazakhstan in 2025 as well. So,
Boy, there's a screaming need in Kazakhstan for essential oils,
I mean,
baby.
they could sell them though. They can be like, look, this does this for you and this for you.
How awful.
In 2021, doTERRA recalled 1.3 million bottles of its oils due to the lack of child-resistant packaging, so that's good to know. Now, Utah has more multi-level marketing companies per capita than any other state. Okay. Direct sales are Utah's second biggest source of revenue after tourism. The Mormon Church also has a long-standing mistrust of federal oversight, which has made Utah much more friendly for businesses that operate outside of medical norms. Attempts to regulate these industries are often portrayed as threats to individual freedom. In the 90s, during a battle over regulation of dietary supplements, vitamin advocates actually paid for a TV ad starring a bewildered, bathrobed Mel Gibson being accosted in his kitchen by a SWAT team for having a bottle of vitamins, which sounds like something Mel Gibson would do.
Oh, he'd get on board.
And then he would go drink and
100%. You're
say
completely
racist
hammered.
comments.
That's right.
Anyway, more recently, parents have begun basically refusing to vaccinate their children in large numbers. When I in this particular article, which I think was released between 2021 and 2023, in Utah County, which was the kind of base of the state's alternative health industry, 43% of kindergartners had not received their full vaccinations.
Cool.
Okay, so let's look at some claims that the sellers of these products have made. I say these sellers because the company, including Mary, the CEO, have been careful about their stance to avoid too much trouble, and they have gotten into some trouble and had to rewrite some things or Some of the most ridiculous claims from these companies were widespread via those selling the products, but the info does come down the line. There is teaching that you can find on these websites. There is videos and such. And you'll find videos of people who just sell them that the company can later be like, well, we're not associated with those videos or that person's social media. So these essential oils of different sorts were being claimed by these wellness advocates to cure or prevent Parkinson's disease, autism, diabetes, hypertension, cancer, insomnia, heart disease, post-traumatic stress disorder, dementia, and multiple sclerosis. And that's according to this FDA letter. Okay. Not making this up.
Right.
Without providing any scientific evidence to back up these claims, obviously. Distributors also claim that their essential oils could prevent and cure Ebola.
Wow. Incredible.
I don't even know, like, some distributor sites even advertise that Ebola could not stand up to essential oils like Thieves, which is like one of their oils, right? Like, okay. In early August of 2014, the FDA says that a doTERRA consultant posted 3 tweets about Ebola prevention. And these are those tweets. Treating the symptoms of Ebola virus with doTERRA essential oils. Many essential oils are highly antiviral. I list here a few of those oils that could help prevent your contracting the Ebola virus.
Brother.
According to the agency, Young Living essential oils products were being sold on various websites with claims including viruses, including Ebola, being no match for Young Living essential oils. And Ebola virus cannot live in the presence of cinnamon bark, which is in Thieves, nor oregano.
Well, I tell you what, oregano's been there the whole time.
Thieves is one of the oils that Young Living sells. The company's website says it's highly effective in supporting the immune system and good health. The listed ingredients are clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Some of these you should not be ingesting in any form. The website, www.essentialsurvival.org, wrote, Thieves, which is a proprietary Young Living blend. Thieves oil can be applied topically to the skin to help the body fight off infection. It goes on to say, if Ebola was going around in my area, I would apply it to my feet and armpits 2 times a day or more, and take it in capsules at least 2 times a day for preventive purposes. Don't do that. And if I were exposed to Ebola or had reason to believe I could be sick with it, you would know, okay? I would use some of these oils every 10 minutes for a few hours, then cut back to every hour for the rest of the day. Then I would use them every 2 waking hours of the day for at least a week or longer if it was known I was sick. And the way she's talking about Ebola makes it clear that she has no idea what Ebola is.
No.
So
It'd be really ironic if some podcast had covered hemorrhagic fevers in detail.
and I could just see like people where Ebola and Marburg are more endemic, like just hearing about this post and being like, the privilege of saying something like, I
face.
mean, if I were sick, I don't know how I would know.
Serious right now.
In one seller's case, she was giving handouts that listed various ailments and their oil treatments: eucalyptus for bronchitis, lavender for third-degree burns. Please don't do that. Don't put anything on a third-degree burn. Let your doctor handle that. Cypress for mononucleosis, rosemary for respiratory or RSV, respiratory syncytial virus. So don't do that either. According to her handout, diffusion kills microorganisms in the air, which helps stop the spread of sickness. Oils, according to her, repair our bodies at a cellular level. So when you're not sure which oils to use, don't be afraid to use several oils and the body will gain a myriad of benefits. She also told the people in the room that doTERRA had oils that were very antiviral and could knock out bronchitis in 24 hours.
I got bronchitis.
Nobody got time for that. She shared essential oil success stories, including her migraines going away with essential oils, her friend's rheumatoid arthritis reversing. That is a autoimmune disorder. So a colleague's mother's cancer being in remission. And it's always like a friend's brother's, sister's, neighbor's, whatever.
It's the ultimate anecdotal brouhaha.
Oh, you want me to prove it? I mean, that's going to take me some time. And it's not that didn't happen. She encouraged a man with autism and Tourette's to partake in an oil for healing purposes as well. Now, during COVID, members of both reportedly promoted essential oils as cures and preventative meds against the virus. They were not the only ones either, mind you, as the FDA sent letters to 7 companies, including them for doing this. They literally had webinars that promoted essential oils for preventing/curing COVID, curing long COVID, and to counteract the effects of the vaccines.
Sorry. To counteract the effects of the vaccines. My man. It's just full blown. Like they've taken it a step further out to complete medical anarchy.
Just
there
take
it
Tylenol.
is. The vaccine's the mark of the beast.
My God. So individual distributors are also promoted these lies on social media, obviously. Now, distributors from doTERRA were actually fined up to $15,000 in civil fines, and the FDA and FTC went after both companies. Mm-hmm. According to the Young Living website, this is, on their website, Gary established the standard now known as Young Living Therapeutic Grade, a philosophy and a guarantee that Young Living will only sell 100% pure, natural, uncut oils that remain their vital therapeutic potency. So this business brings in more than $100 million in annual revenues.
It's disgusting.
Much of that comes from the membership program and people signing up to become a distributor. Okay. A seller, if you will, of the
not actually
product.
Selling the products.
Now, all these oils that they call 100% pure, like I said, they can't even have the title of organic because, as their site says, some oils are imported from other countries, whether it's like on their owned farms or not. In 2019, a class action lawsuit was set up stating Young Living was a pyramid scheme, but this was dropped in 2021 due to a failure to further allege the issue. The distributor level, which is Young Living's lowest rank, comprises about 94% of the company's members. The Royal Crown Diamond tier, the level, that's the one that makes bank, Mm-hmm. It basically, there are only like 0.1% in that tier.
That's right.
So there
the
you
hustlers,
go.
Baby.
Mm-hmm. Now, distributors have to buy about $100 worth of merchandise per month in order to receive commissions on their Young Living sales, according to like the New Yorker. Mm-hmm. And 94% of the company's 2 million active members made less than $1 each in all of 2016. So this is the company too that was like, well, you made more than zero. this
I
month.
have not $0 now. So they basically break even. So that's where the sales of the products come from, is the salespeople. They're buying the merchandise themselves.
And well, you also have like this whole creating of a cult sort of social thing with them. Like if they're using the oils, they believe in these oils. They think that they're selling them to people. In reality, they're just buying into this company
Yeah, that's right.
and it's not doing them any good.
It's almost like a Ponzi scheme.
So, yeah, in 2020, the National Advertising Division of the Better Business Bureau recommended Young Living stop claiming that its products are therapeutic grade, as it did not have the scientific support to say such claims. They literally just started saying it. They even had like a trademark around it.
Yep.
Like they are therapeutic grade trademark.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that you can't just say stuff. I mean, you could say like you can't.
I didn't say it. I declared it.
Like, yeah, like that doesn't make it the thing. So the company disagreed, though, and they stated that they would appeal, while at the same time agreeing to stop making various health and wellness claims about its products and their ingredients. In 2022, the FDA issued a warning letter to Young Living for illegally marketing several of their products, such as their new CBD products, as misbranded, unapproved new drugs. Like they were marketing it as a drug when it's not. The FDA issued another warning for illegal claims that the company's oils could treat conditions like kidney stones and seasonal allergies. In 2024, Young Living agreed to pay $5 million settlement over allegations that it misleadingly marketed its essential oils as therapeutic grade. So their appeal didn't work, I guess. And stating that they're capable of providing health benefits without scientific proof. The settlement established a fund for refunds to eligible consumers, which I'm sure they probably hid that on their site very well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in 2000, the Utah Occupational Safety and Health Division, which is OSHA, which they want to get rid of, in this country, investigated a distiller explosion that fatally wounded a worker at Young Living's Farms in Mona,
Utah.
Young Living Farms was fined $10,280 for 7 safety violations. In 2014, Young Living hired counsel for an internal investigation of its importing practices. This investigation resulted in the voluntary disclosure of violations of the Lacey Act of 1900 and the Endangered Species Act of 1973, because they were basically illegally trafficking rosewood oil and spikenard oil. And like with these acts, like they're basically trafficking this stuff and illegally obtaining it in a place where these particular species are endangered. Like they didn't have the rights to be doing this. They were just taking it. The company was subsequently fined $760,000 in 2017 after pleading guilty to the charges. In addition to the fines levied against them, the company was placed on probation for a period of 5 years. So essential oils can be a part of a healthy lifestyle, aromatherapy, whatever. But even the National Association for Holistic Aromatherapy, NAHA, I thought that was fun that they we just called it that. I had to say it, I'm sorry. NAHA. Even they acknowledge the unethical and potentially dangerous behavior of brands like Young Living and doTERRA. And according to them, they say NAHA is aware of, several multi-level marketing companies who disseminate irresponsible and misinformation into the aromatherapy marketplace. Both doTERRA and Young Living encourage consumers to drink certain oils, which is a controversial issue even among alternative health practitioners. One such practitioner of aromatherapy and other alternative medicine therapies, his name's Peter Holmes. He has stated that while he is unaware of the practices of specific companies, you hear about completely untrained housewives telling people to ingest up to 50 drops. That is sheer insanity. That is medically dangerous. It is a crazy situation.
How do alternative medicine professionals argue with each other? Like on what basis do they? You can't do that. That's dangerous because the chemicals do this. And then the other alternative medicine person says, what is science?
I think with alternative medicine, it's like you don't have the science to say this works, but your goal, if you're actually working in this field, is to not poison the person or to not kill it. Just we don't know if it works, but we're going to try not to kill you.
Yeah, but how do you know you're doing something bad?
I don't know.
There's no reference point.
Well, you know you're doing something bad if you tell them, if you're the one encouraging them not to get actual medical care. Like these people are telling them, don't do that. Just come get these oils. This will treat you, not that. Right? You're basically getting them into a situation where they can die. So some distributors in both companies have promoted the ingestion of their oils. Young Living now has this Vitality line that's meant for ingestion. Their site explains, though many have used oils that are not in the Vitality line internally with success, current regulatory guidelines and research indicate that the Vitality line is an up-to-date offering of essential oils that are safe for ingestion when label directions are followed. They are just trying not to get sued again, you know. Now, obviously, there are some essential oils that are considered toxic if ingested, and we don't know all of the long-term effects of ingesting any of these chemicals. Many essential oils can cause rashes if used topically, and some can be poisonous if they are absorbed through the skin or swallowed or inhaled. For example, pennyroyal oil is highly poisonous to the liver, which I don't know why they're selling an oil from pennyroyal is toxic anyway. Like it's a poisonous plant. Aspirating an essential oil can cause pneumonia, which can occur if someone tries to swallow it, but chokes so that it enters the lungs. It should be noted that children are most at risk. They're smaller. They have less. Their organs are less mature. They're not the same. Accidental poisoning can occur without proper storage of these oils. Wintergreen oil used topically creates a feeling of warmth because it causes like blood vessels to dilate. However, wintergreen oil is very dangerous if more than a tiny amount is swallowed. Swallowing wintergreen oil is roughly the equivalent of swallowing a large number of adult aspirin tablets. Don't do that either. Nutmeg, when used or abused, and this is whether you do the spice or whatever, can cause hallucinations and coma. We discussed that a little bit before. Eucalyptus can be breathed in to help sinus issues, but if swallowed, eucalyptus oil can cause seizures. Sage oil is similar, as it can also cause seizures if even a small amount is ingested, especially in children. Even a small amount of camphor is dangerous if swallowed. Seizures can begin within a few minutes of ingesting this stuff. Camphor poisoning has occurred when skin preparations containing camphor were applied to children more frequently than the label recommended or covered up with extra layers of clothing. Also, with kids, you may have seen disclaimers on like Vicks Vapor Rub or Vicks, plugins saying that they're not for kids under the age of 2. It contains camphor, and it can lead to seizures in small children and cause respiratory distress by causing this inflammation in the airways. So, like those labels saying not for children under 2, like that's a thing. That's a real thing. Don't be using this stuff. Some essential oils contain ingredients that are carcinogenic. These include sassafras oil, some types of mint, basil, tarragon oil that are high in estradiol, and oils with estrogen-like properties, such as tea tree oil, lavender oil. There are other carcinogenic ingredients in essential oils like saffrol as well. It really depends on the oil, how it's made. Ingesting essential oils, even those labeled food grade, can result in accidental poisoning involving seizures, coma, and death, liver damage, and burning and or irritation of mucous membranes. And they don't treat COVID, autism, Ebola, cancer, any of that. While the purpose given by those who started these two specific companies was to allow the public to experience the power of essential oils, the distributors and faithful users of these oils tend to attach this sort of spirituality to them, like we've mentioned, as well as false and unproven claims. Now, David Stewart, who is an aromatherapist who was affiliated with Young Living, he wrote this book called The Chemistry of Essential Oils Made Simple, God's Love Manifest in Molecules.
No, absolutely not.
That's a really long title. And he basically states in that essential oils have a divine intelligence and discernment that allows them to heal without harming, to provide our cells with exactly what we need and nothing we don't. The molecules of a therapeutic grade essential oil form a harmonious, coherent, functional family designed and intended to serve us and heal us according to the highest will of their creator, and our creator who is one and the same, God. Like God over here, like
I don't know her.
I didn't say that. Okay. On that note, I'm aware that other cultures and religions use essential oils for various purposes. My only focus with these MLMs is how they push their products with these false claims so that those at the top can make a lot of money while hopefuls at the bottom rung get taken advantage of. I'm only going to mention a bit about this company, Herbal Life, because like I said, I talked a lot about essential oils, but Herbal Life was founded in 1980. They sell meal replacement shakes, instant herbal beverages with tea extracts, dietary supplements, drinks derived from the aloe vera plant. Many of these products are used with the hopes of losing weight. Like they sell this for like, oh, you want to lose weight. So they're kind of preying off that aspect of wellness or, people wanting to lose weight. And, they're probably telling them, oh, lose this much weight in this much time. It's easy. Hospitals in Israel, Spain, Switzerland, Iceland, Argentina, and the U.S. have reported liver damage in a number of patients who have used Herbal Life products. Herbal Life has brushed off such claims, of course, though they have been sued and have settled with a number of claimants. In one 2019 article published, authors explain this case report describes liver damage that was highly suspected to originate from Herbal Life. So there you go. They excluded alcohol, viral, metabolic, autoimmune, and neoplastic causes of liver lesions, as well as vascular liver disease. And they noticed a connection between the use of Herbal Life products and liver damage. So the exact mechanism of liver damage in this patient was not determined. After removing the Herbal Life products, however, liver damage resolved and there was no need to perform liver biopsy. So taking into consideration the growing consumption of herbal products and their potential harmfulness, we consider that more strict regulations of their production process and sale are necessary, including exact identification of active substances with a list of ingredients, toxicologic testing, and obligatory side effect reports. So that was their findings. Now, there have also been some issues with lead being found in their products in the past. They've been accused of being a pyramid scheme as well. The FTC has been involved and reported in 2023 that half of Herbal Life's higher level distributors earn on average less than $5 a month from selling the company's products. And the majority of people who opened a nutritional club made no income from it or actually lost money. Herbal Life was ordered to pay $200 million in consumer compensations and to fundamentally restructure its business in total. Its practices were judged to be unfair and deceptive. Like with essential oils, Herbal Life is just one of these many MLMs that's promoting nutrition, wellness, weight loss products, and none of which are regulated. So like you may see lawsuits come up after the fact, but they're still going to find like loopholes with their lawyers to just kind of meet what they need to stay in operation. So yeah, that's Herbal Life, but there's a number of other ones that are like them that are not essential oils, but they're like these, diet or food kind of wellness MLMs as well. So I know I talked a lot. There's just a lot out there, and just the history behind some of these MLMs, especially like the doTERRA and the Young Living, whatever. And like the people that I saw speaking about their time in these sort of MLM groups, like basically just talked about how like at first it felt good to be earning until they discovered they weren't actually earning anything. And in reality, they were actually hurting people they were selling these products to, and also hurting people they were getting involved into it because now they're ruining their lives financially as well. And so it's a lot.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening and watching this episode. That's going to do it for this one. We will see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.